Hi everyone. My name is Luna. I am 28 years old and I'm a 3D artist and animator. I mostly make worlds and avatars for a social platform called VRChat. And you might be wondering why I'm reintroducing myself right now, and that's for the simple reason that this particular video is a preview on GoFundMe. And I want to elaborate a little bit more why I'm seeking out help at this current moment. But before we do that, I'd like to get into another topic real quick. A lot of people have been asking me over the course of my years doing stuff for VRChat where to get my avatars, if there's a world, if I ever release them, or if I sell them, do commissions and all that jazz. And I always had to answer with no, simply because of the reason that my time span is too short for all the things that I have to do on a daily basis. But I do have something for the community that you guys are probably going to be very, very happy about. So I'm going to be talking about why, when, and how I am going to release the coolest avatars I've ever made to the public. And all you have to do for that is just stay tuned and sit down, have a listen, maybe grab a coffee or something. I'm trying to think of everything that I wanted to say for this video. I've been planning it for a longer time now, and I'm not doing a script for it, simply because there are so many things that are popping into my mind that I think that I have to say. And there might even be a possibility that at the end of the video I rewatch it and there's something that I forgot to say, but I think it's gonna be fine. So I am someone who lives off of VRChat. I make my money with avatar and world creating. I do commissions in a very short circle. People that I trust and people I know have wishes that are not super time consuming. Generally speaking, I have experience with them and I know what kind of work is going to be expected. Now, aside from all that work, I also do something called VRChat Roleplay. It helps me to immerse myself and others into an environment which you could possibly never think of. This is exactly where I put all my effort, love, and time into, and where I met many, many great people along the way. It also helped me, just like others, to get away a little bit for a short amount of time from all the problems we are facing in the real world. A few months back, my dad was diagnosed with cancer in his lower region. It made its way all the way into the bladder and kidney, and he already had multiple surgeries by now. My dad is a hard-working man, and I always respected him for that. He has his own business, which is in the gardening region, designing gardens, cleaning them up, making them all look nice for customers. I think we can already agree that this type of work is very taxing and exhausting and very physically challenging. So my dad has 3 employees himself. None of them has a driver's license. So usually when they go to work, my dad is the one to drive. So despite his physical issues and still on his way of healing, he is driving them around for work, which is very taxing and painful as well. But now that this has been going on for a while and it's been a very big shock for me and my entire family, it's gotten even worse, to the point where 2 of his employees are sick in the hospital themselves, and one of them doesn't even want to show up anymore. At that point, I talked to my dad and I offered my help, because this is practically the only thing I could do. Nobody else could potentially do it. My brother works a full-time job, as well as my sister, and I work at home at my own times. Turned out, once I offered my help, the very next day he met a guy. Someone he actually knew from tens of years ago. That guy had his own business in the same region, gardening. So after they talked and talked, they kind of, lend each other a hand. his car broke, so my dad offered him his car in exchange for working together with him. Now we had 2 men more, that guy and his employee. Because of my dad falling out of commission for a good while now, we've been struggling with money a lot. And my aunt was even nice enough to offer my dad 10,000 euros to help us out. My dad kept denying the offer until it was really up to the point where we couldn't do anything without it anymore. So he took the money, and as we were already struggling, about a week ago, I woke up and went down to grab myself a coffee, and I noticed that I saw my mom with my dad crying, and I asked what's wrong. In short, I was basically told that we had about 2,000 left of those 10,000 within 5 days. And why is that? It's because my dad got bills from 2019 and 2020. Now, I myself am not too familiar with all of that stuff and why this is happening, but I do know that this has happened in the past already. I do remember in 2019 we got bills from 16 and 17. I do believe it's a common thing here, but right now it just was so unexpected, and we are actually about to lose our house. I do live together with my mom and dad. It's hard for me to disconnect. I left the house a few times already. I was living with my ex-partners, but at the end I always came back. This time, if we can't do anything, I am going to have to leave for good. And my parents, that want to stay in the same city as my brother and sister, will have to ultimately rent a very expensive and small apartment because there's nothing else here. Now, where would I go? I have a fiance, and he lives in the US. Now, I don't think I stated this before, but I live and grew up in Germany. So, if we're actually losing our house, I don't have anywhere to go here. I'd have to leave the country and move in with my fiance, which is a lot to digest. I've been thinking about everything that's been going on in my life for a good bit now, and it's hard for me to think about leaving the country and leaving my family behind. Also knowing that my dad is still sick, still suffering from cancer, and if anything happens, I'm in America, and I can't just come over. Of course, my fiance and I, we talked about it a lot, and we were fully aware that one day we have to make a decision where we want to move together. But these are not the right circumstances. Everything is just so forced onto us. Now, I've been trying to work hard. Sleepless nights, over hours and everything. There's no way on this planet that I would be able to make enough to support keeping our house. So I went up to my parents and I told them, there's maybe one thing I can do. And you know why? Because I made a good name for myself in the VR chat community. I've always been honest, I've always been helpful, and I've always been communicative. I never stabbed anyone in the back. In fact, all I ever wanted to do on this game is entertain everyone, make them smile, make them laugh, immerse them into a story. And that's still what I want to do. But I need your guys' help. My mom and my dad need your guys' help. Every help that we could possibly get. But by God, if you yourself are in a shitty situation too, you can simply just show your support by sharing this. Okay? In all honesty, this whole thing, the GoFundMe, the video, everything I'm doing right now is a last resort option. And I'm clinging on to it. Now obviously, if you're watching this video from YouTube, the GoFundMe link is down there in the description. And if you're already on that website watching the video from there, I'd be really thankful for your support. So, how does this all interconnect with the first thing I said in this video? Obviously, we have a goal, and it's not low, but I do want to give something in return. So, what I want to do in return, once we actually reach the goal, I'm going to make an avatar world where I will officially and legally publish all the avatars that the community really wanted over the course of time. And not only that, to really show how thankful I would be for that, for an entire year, every single month of the year, I will update this world with a brand new avatar. Every single month. That makes 12. So, with that being said, thank you so much for actually taking the time and watching this video to the end. Even that, I absolutely appreciate. And we are closing in on Christmas, so Merry Christmas. And if we don't get to talk anymore before the year ends, I'm also gonna say Happy New Year. Until then, stay healthy and strong, and I will see you soon. Thank you guys. Catch you around.